Just like that, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's party time with the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, and the man beside me, you know how to do this, people. It's the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how the hell are you doing, brother?
Whoa, that was quite the introduction, Munson. I am doing great. It is Thursday night. I'm ready to do some podcasting, and look at this. We got another special guest.
We sure do, and he deserves an introduction of his own. He's PPW's own Riley Cruz. Riley, rock and roll, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, appreciate you being here.
Doing
Just like
great.
we appreciate the live viewing audience as well, too. And we got them in strides here tonight. We got our good friend JJ up in the house, the voice Joshua Joseph. Check it out. A Moment with Joshua Joseph. Wonderful podcast. Go like, follow, subscribe over to all his stuff. JJ, how are you doing, brother? Happy holidays to you. Basser, the third video, bro, down at ringside at PPW there. Always brave and taking chair shots from Cannonball Kelly in the middle of chairs matchup. How you doing, Basser? Thanks for being on the show. And he's saying, Riley, man, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And we got Brian Carter up in the house here tonight, Papa.
Yeah.
Because Brian Carter's hanging out with us. Just saw today that Sable is living in Saskatchewan. Let's get her on the show pronto. Good luck with that, Brian Carter. Good luck with that, my man. You let me know when you find that contact information. We'll hook that up. And there he is. He's Bobby Stats. Bobby up in the house, letting us know Matt Riddle is returning to Major League Wrestling, Papa folks. If you didn't see that news already, yeah, the original bro is going to be stepping back to an MLW ring, taking on Jacob Fatu at MLW's Kings of Coliseum, January the 6th. You're going to be able to join myself and Papa Smokes for that live watch along right here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. And Mel Ball Collins, how are you doing? Joining us here in the chat. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining us on Ring Respect Radio as we're doing our best of Prairie Pro Wrestling 2023, our favorite moments. We're going to watch some matches. I might have a little bit of a trailer from the Chairs matchup coming out next year. And also a little bit of a music video that I put together recently that features little tidbits from PPW that I have permission to play live right here on this very special here tonight, Pop. So hey, a good personal close friend of yours is in the band I put the video together for.
Yes.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. And the video is done. Hey, I wasn't sure what the progress was. You're going to debut it for us tonight, Munson. This is going to be great.
That's right. I talked to the boys in the group, and they say, go for it, Munson. Go and play the video live on the Best of PPW 2023. As Brian letting it know, I need some PPW gear before May. I got ringside seats for the MLW event in Chicago. We got to get this guy a shirt. Basser, if you're listening, we're going to make this happen. We're going to get that done, and we're going to personally send Brian Carter a shirt to wear ringside in Chicago at MLW so that we can check out that beautiful PPW print at ringside at MLW. That would be fantastic. Brian, we'll make that shit happen, brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
yes, we're going to do that.
So, Riley, let's start with you, because speaking of 2023, the rise of Riley Cruz in Prairie Pro Wrestling, straight out of the PPW Academy. So let's talk about kind of your first debut. I know your first matchup officially was against the Wrestling Smartest Man, Bucky McGraw, followed by what we called an academy matchup between you and Maurice Waltz, something that Waltz actually talked about here on the show a little bit. Get us into kind of those early stages of stepping out there for Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, well, I mean, my whole career so far has been pretty hectic. I mean, I started training in August of 2022, and then that following October, I was in the ring. Not only that, but in front of 200-300 people, in front of many people, wrestling Bucky McGraw. So that was pretty intense. And then, obviously April came around. That was kind of my official debut, where I took on Maurice Waltz. And again, it was just a crazy experience. I mean, once you go out there, it's like a switch in your brain turns. And, I see red when you walk down that entrance ramp and you have people cheering you on. You feel like you're on top of the world, basically. And, I wasn't smoking anything, but it felt like I was floating when I was walking down that entrance ramp. There was just so much energy, and it was such a great time. Training was awesome, and so far things have been going very well despite me having quite a few losses ranked up. I'm still happy with my progress and how things are going, for sure.
Well, early on in your career, you've also picked up a few victories as well, too. So, I mean, that's a big accolades there to be picking up victories this early on in your career. And the losses you have taken are against some pretty tough competition as well, too. I mean, recently in the form of Mars the Specialist, Jack Pride, I mean, well-established stars on the Western Canadian scene. So really, I mean, you took them to task. You took them to task very well. I mean, your most recent one, Brock Arani, a very, very large man that's come in. He's really done some dominance in PPW. Those losses, they were a learning experience for you. And I imagine that from those, you're only going to build and go further with your career.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Bobby. I look at the positives more than the negatives. I feel like despite me having losses, they weren't really losses. In my books, they were a win because I was able to step into the ring with some of the best in Canada. And yeah, I lost, but again, they're the best in Canada for a reason. And so again, it's a learning experience. I was able to step into the ring and give it all I got, and then that'll just help me improve for the future. So maybe next time I wrestle Barat or Mars or Jack Pride or anything, I'll be ready. You know what I mean? So again, learning experience.
That's awesome. And look who we got in the house here, Papa Smokes. It's our good friend, one of the hardest working journalists in all of journalism. It's Astrid Pizarro. How are you doing, Astrid? Thanks for joining us on Ring Respect Radio. Papa Smokes, I'm going to turn this over to you for a little bit. I want you to ask a few questions to our esteemed guest here tonight.
For sure. Well, just to kind of add on to what we were just discussing before this, I think that so early in your career, Riley, that it's less important about wins and losses and more important about what you have achieved so far. I still remember your very first match when you came out. You played the song "Ride the Lightning" by Metallica, which is just turning the room's energy around that song. And then you came out with so much energy. You slammed the ring steps. Now you're banging your head. Your hair's flying everywhere. You flew into the ring and started running the ropes. People felt that energy. It was palpable. I felt it myself, and I thought, damn, the new guy makes a nice entrance. Then you had a very good match after that. I'd say that it's just not about wins and losses at this time. It's about bringing that energy, showing the people in Saskatoon and watching on YouTube what you've got early on. We know it's going to change at some point, but just looking really, really good to me so far. And hard not to get caught up in the excitement and the energy of the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm still young. I still have that teenager energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just backtracking to what we were talking about just a little bit ago. I mean, once you're out there, the crowd is what really moves you. I mean, your adrenaline shoots through the roof, and especially when you have the crowd cheering for you, like you're on top of the world. You are the cream of the crop in that situation. So just being able to experience that night or every PPW show, it's a real honor, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. I'm going to go to the audience here for a moment because, of course, we got El Asesino's biggest fan up in the house outside of Papa Smokes, of course, here. But Brian Carter saying, on behalf of the International El Asesino Appreciation Society, he would like to know if Riley has nightmares about the impending chair he will take from the Masked Devil.
Well, I mean, as frightening as that may sound, I'm not one to back down from a challenge. So if Asesino wants to challenge me to a chairs match at the next PPW show, my doors are open, my calendar's empty, let's do it, bring it. But, is that nerve-wracking to possibly get hit in the head with a chair? Absolutely, but who isn't? So,
That chairs match was brutal. You will get to see a sneak peek of that later on the show here tonight. It's all edited too, you guys. It's ready to go for next year. It's a doozy. It's hell was had by all in that one. Bold words indeed, says Mr. Brian Carter.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
That's right. Stepping up to the plate. Papa Smokes, turning it back to you here for a moment.
Sure. Well, what can you say about some of your PPW experiences so far? I mean, you've felt it from the crowd. We have great fans packing that venue every time. Well, what are some of the moments that you like about wrestling a show, including your in-ring stuff, but about meeting and interacting with some of the other wrestlers and some of the fans as well?
Well, I mean, there have been great wrestlers to talk to, and there have been some rough ones, Maurice Waltz. And but overall, the whole experience, again, it's been positive because I've been learning, I've been picking up stuff, I've been picking up knowledge. The fans have been extremely supportive through and through. Again, when I come out, here they are cheering me. They're cheering my name. It's like I never thought that would happen. People are coming up. They're buying custom Riley Cruz guitar picks that I sell.
That's too cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. My time through all in all has just been amazing. And even in training, I've learned a lot, and I'm having a blast, and I hope to continue to do this for as long as I possibly can, for sure.
Well, a couple things. One, hit me up in the next PPW show. I also want one of those custom Riley Cruz guitar picks. But we want to say hello to that Canada dude, Andre C., one of the great contributors here at the channel. Also, Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk, where they talk all about Japanese professional wrestling. And he says, whoa, it's the rocker Riley Cruz. Love seeing this guy at LPW events in Edmonton. He keeps getting better and better.
All right.
And Basser, also coming back to the LPW world, says, Riley, I saw you had a match or two in Love Pro Wrestling. How much of a heads up did you have before those matches?
Well, I was a bit more of a fill-in because my first two experiences with LPW was I was going to be in a scramble match, and I guess some of the guys couldn't make it, so I got hit up, and here I was in Edmonton, about a week later. So it wasn't until like a week in advance. I think one time it was maybe 5-6 days in advance. So it's not a lot of time to prepare, but I kind of prefer that because you don't dwell on it. You don't get anxious about it. You just go out there and do it. So I feel like that's the best way to approach it. And again, my experience with LPW, despite my losses, again, I'm having a great time learning. And it's just a great time overall. Yeah.
And obviously some great exposure as well, too, because the LPW crowd, obviously a very large crowd indeed. On top of that, going live in a Twitch format brings in a lot of eyes from around the world, which helps to get you familiarized with them as well, too. Something we hope to do with, obviously the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel as well. How has that experience been, knowing that you're going out not only before a live crowd, but now you have to think about working those cameras?
It's surreal. Again, going back to LPW, it's really cool because since they're doing Twitch stuff in live, you almost have like a hard camera. So I do my best to portray myself in front of that camera. And then also when it comes to just seeing my videos online posted on the PPW YouTube channel, it's just really cool seeing my stuff, because to think that people all over the world can go ahead and watch my match, like, that's surreal. It's mind-blowing, and it's something that I honestly haven't really wrapped my head around fully yet. I still feel like I'm just kind of another local guy for PPW, but it's cool looking at the big picture, knowing that I have that kind of opportunity to make myself known to the world.
If I showed you the stats of every single country that's been watching your matches, you'd be mind blown. Some of them you may not have even heard of, because even I hadn't when I looked. It's wonderful. But speaking of fans from around the world, it's our good friend, Mr. Barry Monkey, joining us in the house saying, hello, Impact is on. End of year's award show. So F that, he came here. Oh, well, I'm humbled and honored, Barry, that when you get like those clip shows that you're, thinking of us shortly afterwards. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. But going back to the topic at hand, Prairie Pro Wrestling. Okay. Well, we want to get to some of our favorite moments. Riley, so far, who has been your favorite matchup that you've had in 2023 for Prairie Pro Wrestling?
I mean, Bobby, where do I start? There's been so much going on in 2023 for PPW, but I'd have to narrow it down to my official debut match against Maurice Waltz. I mean, There is just so much energy going into that. And, if I could just go off on a little bit of a rant here, during training, because me and Maurice, we started at roughly the same time training. And during those training sessions, I found that he came off as arrogant, as a bit ignorant. He reeked of cockiness, and during training we'd lock up, we'd wrestle a bit, and he'd do some cheap stuff. He'd pull your hair, he'd rake your eyes, stuff like that. And it's just there, you had all that built up anger inside of me that I just wanted to release. So those months building up to April, I just couldn't wait to get my hands on Maurice. So I feel like the payoff was amazing. Not only did I get to go into there and beat him, but I also got to do it in front of 200-300 people. So that match just sticks out in my mind. Just so many memories, and I was able to just let out a lot of anger on Maurice and show him who I am. And it was an amazing experience. And whenever I'm feeling down, I go back and reminisce on that top rope moonsault that I do on him to beat him. Whenever I'm feeling down, I'm cheered right back up because I got to beat up Maurice Waltz. So
it was a fantastic moment, and you hit that moonsault with great excellence as well too. I mean, what some people who haven't seen necessarily is you're a tall dude. You've got some size behind you, and to be able to do that kind of agility is absolutely remarkable. And Barry Monkey saying, hair pulling the bloody heel. Yes, indeed, the bloody heel, Maurice Waltz. And I know Papa Smokes, the gears are turning over there, because you hear Maurice Waltz and you're buying into the endless waltz all the time. I know you are. You and him are. It's like you and this El Asesino conspiracy. You've got this connection with a couple of these boys that I just don't quite grasp. But let's hear what you got to say with this Maurice Waltz topic there, Papa Smokes.
No, I was definitely glad that you brought up his name, Riley, because we did feature an interview with Maurice Waltz about a month ago on this show. And I mean, that guy comes across with a lot of confidence. like you said, possibly an arrogance, possibly a cockiness, but he came right on here and said he feels like he's the best wrestler in PPW. He has the most potential. He has the most upward moving potential. And I couldn't help but think of you and a few of the other wrestlers from PPW that might have something to say about that. And why? So how do you feel about this? You told us a little bit, but I know that he sees himself as the big guy around on PPW now. What do you think about this?
Well, here's the thing. I watched the interview with Maurice Waltz, and I couldn't help but notice that he referred to me as a punk ass kid. I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
But
it is.
here's the thing. He talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk. I beat him in April, and then he comes on here and he's still dissing me, which I find weird because he's dissing me, the punk ass kid who beat him in April and could probably do it again if he ever challenged me. So again, like you said, Papa Smokes, he comes off as arrogant, ignorant, stuff like that. However, I do respect his in-ring work. His kicks are stiff. His slap is very stiff, and he's a hard hitter. He's a very good wrestler, but when it comes to how he presents himself and his personality, I can't say I have much respect for him there.
For sure. Brian Carter mentioning that he wants to contract Riley to take out his light work Chris Parrish in a PPW ring. Yeah, I think we're a little beyond that at this point. Bobby's got an interesting question, though, here. He's saying, would you like to wrestle against either Mo Jabari or Amir Jordan in 2024, given the opportunity?
Well, when I think of those two names, my first instinct is going towards Amir Jordan because he was recently here at PPW. And again, just learning more experience from more veterans. I mean, Amir Jordan, he's done a lot. He's been in WWE, NXT UK, stuff like that. So I feel like wrestling against Amir Jordan would be a great learning experience. And on top of that, I have a little bit of an upper hand because I saw that match in the back. I saw his tag team match, so I kind of know what he's about. I've got a bit of homework. I've studied him. So I think Amir Jordan would be a really cool guy to wrestle and get in the ring with.
That's true. And Mo Jabari, of course, the best friend of the Excellence of Execution, Bret Hart, there in Conquering over in Dungeon Wrestling would be a very interesting matchup.
Oh, yeah.
As well, too.
He's making some big strides these days, too. Mo Jabari's been featured on NWA and stuff recently, too.
Yeah. And just to think, it was a mere 7 years ago, Papa Smokes, when we were first calling a young Mo Jabari's matchups there. And what strides he has made since then. Barry Monkey saying, to be fair to him, difficult to wrestle with his head so far up his arse like that.
Fair enough.
Oh, Barry, you make me chuckle. You're a good man. But I want to ask a non-wrestling question here to you, Riley. I want to know right now your top 5 heavy metal favorite bands of all time. What are your 5 go-tos?
Well, kind of like narrowing it down to my favorite match of 2023. It's tough to pick. There's so many bands because when I walk out there with my jacket, it's not just a gimmick. It's who I am. Those patches that I wear, those are bands that are significant to me. Those are bands that I listen to all the time. And I have a very diverse range of music, prog rock to thrash metal, sometimes to jazz, Frank Zappa to Megadeth, Alice Cooper to Primus, to Rush, stuff like that. So I have a huge, a whole bunch of bands that I really like. But if I had to narrow it down to 5, I mean, Rage Against the Machine's probably on there, as you could tell. So that'd be one. I'm a huge Primus fan. I got to catch them in Saskatoon. Really big into Rush. Bummer that I couldn't see them. Rest in peace, Neil Peart. And let's see, Megadeth. I got to see Megadeth, so I love that.
Those guys.
Oh yeah, and then Alice Cooper. I flew to Phoenix to see him. So those are my 5 big ones. Those are my go-tos.
Hey, nothing wrong with any of those picks. I'm a fan of all 5 of them myself. So
sweet.
Of course, like myself, Papa Smokes, we have a wide variety of musical tastes ourselves too, but hard rock, heavy metal, definitely a little bit more of my forte, for sure, my go-tos, but I throw in the other stuff as well too. I mean, all us metalheads tend to have a little bit more diversity of what we listen to, I believe.
Oh, of course, it doesn't hurt to throw on a little bit of Katy Perry here and there,
Yeah. You need somebody with a good singing voice every once in a while to change the mood anyway. But yeah, we'll go again, audience. If you have questions for Riley Cruz, let us know in the chat there. But I'm going to go over to Papa Smokes for a minute here and just say, Papa Smokes, thinking of 2023 and matchups here. I want to know, what was your favorite matchup you've seen Riley in?
That's a tough one, but I would have to say still, I liked that first one against Maurice Waltz. That was beautiful because it was you knew that these two had tangled in the PPW Wrestling Academy already, and you just enlightened us a little bit about that before. Yeah, you certainly did tangle there, but when we got to see the two of you in front of everybody, it was special to me. It was fun. Plus, there was the slap that was heard all across Broadway, as we brought up in our commentary before. But that was great, man. And I thought it was such a good debut match. You knew there were some nerves, you knew there was some nervousness and all that stuff, but you guys both really hit it out of the park, and I thought it was great.
Thank you so much.
And I've got to give kudos to you and T.Y. Jackson, actually. Well, one that I don't want people to forget about.
Yeah,
Jackson, a very accomplished wrestler as well, too. You went up to get against him and pulled off a massive victory against T.Y. Jackson. How was that match for you?
Again, a great experience. I mean, TY, he's a veteran. He's had a lot of experience. So not only did I get to learn from him and share a ring with him, but again, I got to beat him. I got to beat TY Jackson. You know, not many people get to say that, but I'm one of those few people that got to say that. So wrestling TY was amazing. If you don't mind me also bringing up Mars, and for that, yeah, for the matter, everyone that I've wrestled in 2023 has been amazing. But yeah, Mars also sticks out just because he brought out the best in me. Again, I lost, but again, learning experience. I had a great time, and I hope to do it again with TY, Mars, and all those other guys in the future in 2024.
Sure. And shout out to Mars and Reed Matthews there on the Short Kings podcast. Anybody who hasn't checked that out, you want a good laugh, go check those two guys out, especially their latest episode, trying to build a Kit Kat gingerbread house, but not just putting it together, having to do the old where the one guy has his arms to the side and the other one has the arms in behind and he's trying to direct them. Absolute comedy gold with the Short Kings. So go check that out. It's a good time. But outside of your own matches, Riley, 2023, from what you've seen, observed, people in the ring, what were a couple of your favorite moments, something that you enjoyed for matchups in Prairie Pro Wrestling?
Well, I've really enjoyed Sheik's title defense. I know people say he's got a bad attitude, which I can't disagree with. But I mean, he shows up. He definitely gives people those opportunities. He, when someone asks for a title shot, he sometimes, accepts those challenges. But other than that, he's a great champion. Same like Morris, not the best attitude, but he's a great wrestler and one that I can respect. Absolutely. Another moment of 2023 that sticks out is that unforgettable chairs match, Asesino and Cannonball. How can you forget? I mean, those two guys went out and killed it. That was the most hardcore match that I've ever seen in person before, and it's a match that I'll never forget. And I'm so excited that we have the technology of video and cameras to relive that moment, because it's truly amazing and one that I really consider one of, if not the best moments of 2023.
Well, speaking of that chairs match, does everyone think it's about time maybe we play that short little 1-minute trailer that gives people a sneak peek into that particular match coming out around it's going to be about February 2024, just as a heads up. But what do you guys think? We go chairs match trailer?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, the votes are in. We're going to it. Here it is, the chairs match trailer. I'm betting Brian Carter is loving every second of watching El Asesino in that one right now. But it's a doozy, and let me tell you, I just gave you guys a little bit of one of the camera shots on that one. That is not the final cuts by any means. Wait till you see the final cuts. It looks perfect between the 3 camera shots, the chase through the audience, everything about it. Absolute chaos, mayhem, but you're going to love every second of it when we bring it to the channel. Bobby Stats wants to know, Riley, do you have any plans to ever wrestle in, say, MLW or TNA if the opportunity were to arise?
Well, I mean, of course, again, I'm still young in my career. I'm in that learning process. I'm down with anything. If it's anyone from PPW or again, TNA, MLW, stuff like that, I'd be more than happy to pick up that opportunity, wrestle around Canada, the States. So yeah, whatever, I guess I know this, I'm kind of dodging the question a little bit, but in a broader perspective, I'm down with anything. So TNA, yes. MLW, yes. WWE, AEW, etc. Yes, 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 yes.
Bring them all on, says Riley Cruz. That's for sure. Go back over to you, Papa Smokes. Anything else that you'd like to ask Riley here today?
Well, sure. There's lots of stuff I'd like to talk about, but we should watch a match pretty soon. But Riley, what else? What are some of your goals in PPW? I mean, obviously, you could eye up a shot against Sheik, Akbar, Shabaz against the heavyweight or for the heavyweight title, but we've got a tag team scene that's heating up in PPW these days. Any thoughts of ever going that direction?
I was really hoping you would ask me that, Papa Smoke. So
All
first
good.
of all, yeah. When you get into the wrestling business, obviously you want to be at the top of the world. You want to be the best you can. So obviously Sheik and his PPW title is definitely one that I'd like to challenge for, and I really hope for that chance one day. But yeah, no, the tag team division, it's really been heating up in 2023, and I'm sure it's going to look a lot hotter in 2024, especially with the help of the tag titles. For me personally, I'd be more than happy again taking that opportunity to step into the tag team division. I've only had one tag match so far, so being able to improve that kind of repertoire and improve my resume of tag matches would be amazing. And I mean, the toughest part is picking a partner, but one that first comes to mind is Cannonball Kelly, because we share very personal
Yeah.
attitudes, personalities. I mean, I wear jorts in the ring. He wears jorts. I'm rocking a tank top. He's rocking a tank top. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. So I feel like if Cannonball was on board and Johnny Two Fingers was cool with it, I'd be more than happy to share a ring with Cannonball. And on top of that, I mean, I'm under his wing. He could teach me some stuff, and also I get to be beside a veteran and maybe be tag team champions with him. So Cannonball's one that definitely comes to mind.
Cannonball and Johnny are an absolute riot. Especially we had them here on the show the one time. You didn't know what direction those two guys were going to take that conversation at any given time. But one of the most fun interviews we've ever had here.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I believe. I think it led to Johnny saying that he was fearing for his life because his daughter had a knife in her hand or something like that. So along those lines,
yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah. So anything else, Papa Smokes? Or should we? Are you in for watching at least one of the matches here with us, Riley? Or
let's do it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's watch a match.
Let's watch a match. So, what are you guys thinking here? Is anything that comes to mind that you think from 2023 that we should give the people here today?
Well, why don't we let our guests pick? We can watch one of your matches, Riley, or if you'd rather not, pick something else.
They're putting the spotlight on me. All right.
Putting it on you.
I mean, I'd really like to see anything against with Sheik. I'd say he's a great performer, and I'd love to watch one of his matches.
All right, we got Sheik matchup. I'm just looking on the list here, see what we've got for ourselves. We got. I mean, we could go over to more recently Sheik and Tony Novak, which has been released. We've also got Sheik in the Open Challenge matchup that happened a few months ago as well too. That is a possibility. Yeah. I would say that epic tag team matchup where he teamed with El Asesino, it's a 26-minute one. It's up to you guys. If you feel 26-minute matchup is on the cards, I'll load that one up.
I'm down with whatever, man.
Yeah. Bob Smokes, tag match?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, tag match it is. I'm going to get this thing loaded up for you guys here. Let's go to the share screen. All right. All right, and just so everybody knows, the opening music, if anybody isn't aware, one of the great fans of PPW and somebody who Papa Smokes and I had on the show here previously, local rapper by the name of NJ, who's been so gracious to allow us not only to use the song, but used PPW footage from one of our shows here back in April for that particular music video for the song Kimbo. Buddy, Sheik Kills Tony Part 2 isn't available yet.
PPW Nation, we welcome you back to the Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Look at that. We got Basser before he was ringside holding the camera there in the audience.
It's the Video Bro Love down at ringside. I'm Bobby Munson, and of course,
so just get people into this as well too, as you're hearing our commentary. So Papa Smokes and I, every Thursday before we do Ring Respect Radio, we go into a separate recording room here on StreamYard, and we put one of these matchups up on the screen, and we call our commentary matchups there. I then go and I play with the audio, layer it all in after the fact, and try to make it work. But yeah, that's generally how we do it each and every week to get the commentary done for the PPW matches every Saturday.
Kelly there. We got Kelly Squared, the Kelly Bros, whatever you want to refer to them as. They are working.
And so just to get the audience into this as well too, this particular tag team matchup was set up to determine if there would be one of these two guys getting a shot at Sheik, Akbar, Shabaz for the heavyweight championship. If Colton Kelly or Cannonball Kelly pins Sheik in particular in this matchup, they would then become the new number one contender for the Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship. And afterwards, we'll get into the story of that, because it's a little bit of a tragic story that comes along with what happens here in this matchup. So we will get to that here. But obviously, the PPW Nation absolutely loves and adores both these two gentlemen.
Both of them the Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship at times, keeping the title firmly with the Sheik Akbar. And now here tonight, they have a chance to maybe possibly one of them get the opportunity to once again to go after a deep road.
I don't know about you, Papa Smokes. I have a hell of a time listening to myself back when we do these things.
There was also a little bit of a
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to watch it and not listen to that and try and take it all in again.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm kind of fantasizing. I'm imagining I'm in the building watching this live right now. It's awesome.
And is no one safe from Sheik Akbar, Shabaz, and El Asesino. These two dastardly wrestlers.
Johnny Two Fingers was an absolute delight. I love that guy.
Me too. He's a beauty, eh?
There we go. Quite possibly the meanest SOB in all of professional wrestling right there. A man that for many years has said he was going to get his hands on me, but Papa Smokes, he hasn't managed to do so just yet.
Zero of those F's to give here tonight. That's for sure.
And we've seen over the past months, El Asesino has been on a tear here.
All those poor fans having their signs ripped up. How dare he?
We don't know what is.
I love that one though. Gotta love the PPW super fam in the back there with Asesino kicks kittens, and I wouldn't be surprised if that SOB would go around doing that.
Disdain for an individual as they do for El Asesino.
I'm surprised Asesino hasn't been punched by a fan yet.
Oh no, he has.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He got hit with an old man's cape on one show, actually.
I'm not surprised.
Back and this old man grabbed a hold of him, and he told the old man to get his hands off of him. And as soon as he did, this old man picks up his walking cane and just smacks Asesino about 5 or 6 times in the side of the head. Asesino grabs this thing, turns around, and says, "You do that one more time, old man, and I'm going to be shoving that somewhere you don't want it to be."
Well, knowing Asesino, he probably deserved it. So
probably did. Bobby saying that Asesino is a heel like Matt Cardona. Asesino, man, I don't know. I think Matt Cardona smiles more than Asesino ever does. I've been around Asesino, and I fear Asesino. I talk a lot of shit about Asesino, but I do truly fear the man. Look at this classy champion that we have, the longest reigning Prairie Pro Wrestling champion in history. I mean, granted, he's the only Prairie Pro Wrestling champion in history, but he can hold that accolade, and he's going to hold it for a long time, because it's going to take a lot for somebody to ever run a title run like Sheik has had here at Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Kelly and Cannonball Kelly use the love and admiration of the PPW.
And the Sheik is such a heel, too. I love the way he makes a lap of the entire ring. That's something that the fan favorites do sometimes, but the Sheik does that just to soak in the hatred and to mock the fans at ringside. I mean, look at these nice young ladies full of smiles and everything until he comes by and just degrades them and demeans them with his arrogant manner. My God, he's so good at what he does, but They hate him in Saskatoon. They just hate him. Same thing with El Asesino. Goes after the fans, gets in their face. I mean, it's real hatred sometimes.
That'll get the ire of the Mexican.
Well, you also got to remember it was 2023, Pop Smokes. We saw it there live in person when El Asesino stole that poor girl's sign at ringside there, and then not only made her cry after tearing up the sign, but went on the microphone and called her a crybaby on the microphone, provoking even more tears from that young lady at ringside. Like, how dare he?
Not to mention Cannonball Kelly's.
You got to have no care as to what the fans feel when you start doing stuff like that. And I mean, that takes a concentration. Asesino and Akbar Shabaz both have many more worries than about what the fans think of them.
And how are these two going to decide who is going to start things?
Sure do, but yeah, the one thing I was mentioning on commentary just now in this matchup was the biggest question became Colton Kelly and Cannonball Kelly coinciding with the idea that one of them can become the number one contender, even though they've never had a reason to dislike each other or be against each other. You got to imagine that plays into the psyche a little bit when the opportunity for gold is on the line. Those friendships they're right out the window at that point in time.
A lot of tension, yeah.
For sure. And you think that it might spur on both guys in that match to try and get that pinfall, but look what it does to your teamwork too. Now they're having to be rivals of each other as well as teammates. That can screw with chemistry for sure.
Make sure that he gets some order right off the start here. He wants this to be a problem.
I think I want one of those Cannonball Kelly custom-made handwritten shirts there that says "Bite It Sheik" on it. I absolutely love that thing. I'd pay top dollar for one.
Who's going up first? I mean, that's an old schoolyard way of deciding who's going to start things off. That's for sure.
Colton Kelly sure has made a splash since coming to Prairie Pro Wrestling. That was kind of late 2022, I believe, that he first started out with us, but he's had a bit of a time off, and we'll get to that after this matchup for sure. But it's great that he's come back to the company. Always a riot. The PPW Nation love him as well too. Another guy who brings a lot of energy to the professional wrestling ring.
It seems like it is deafening up in this place
for sure. And as all the fans know, Colton Kelly is a close personal friend of Papa Smokes as well. So I was devastated to see him not coming to the shows for a bit there, but so glad to welcome him back. To me, that was a big moment for 2023, was the return of Colton Kelly to Saskatoon and PPW.
Well, and we know the hellacious fights these two have already had. Colton Kelly was on the verge of becoming the Prairie Pro Wrestling champion and dethroning the Sheik. If it weren't for the interference from El Asesino, we could be looking at a different story right here. We could be looking at the second ever Prairie Pro Wrestling champion. But nonetheless, Sheik is still champion. He is going to be nearing 2 years as the champion here in early 2024, you guys. Like, that is absolutely unheard of in an independent wrestling company to have a champion so dominant that he runs the gauntlet for 2 years.
If you don't mind me being the interviewer for a quick second, I mean, Sheik's been the champion for so long that I don't even know if there's really anyone that could dethrone him at this point. Do you guys have any names that you think might have a chance?
Well, you can continue to throw people at him. That's a great question right there. And I'm trying to run down the roster that we currently have, and I'm starting to think we might have to look to outside sources possibly. Somebody that the Sheik is unprepared for before we could throw him off enough in order to beat him. Pop Smokes, thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'm coming up dry on names because he has faced the top competition, especially the fan favorites in PPW. But that's just it, is that Sheik Akbar Shabaz hasn't come away with any startlingly great victories or any clutch pinfalls or anything. He just can't be beaten. You know what I mean? Like, he's not beating people in spectacular fashion. He just won't give up that belt. He's got a stranglehold on the belt, and nobody can get him off it. It's like it's the ultimate defensive wrestler. He might not be you, but you can't pin him.
We got the comments coming in from the audience. Bobby Petito saying maybe Mustafa Ali. We could afford Mustafa Ali to come in and try to take on the Sheik. I'd roll up to the bank and make that happen.
That'd be nice.
Bass are saying maybe a handicap match too versus the Sheik. You see, that's the thing I fear is the PPW management. If she keeps pissing him off enough, it might just go ahead and try to book him in some sort of impossible situation like that, one that he might not be able to use all the tactics that he does to hold on to that belt. How about a matchup where the belt can still change by disqualification?
Come on, you can't do that much. You can't leave it up to the referee.
We are getting pretty desperate. I mean,
maybe we just need to send Riley Cruz in there.
That sounds great.
But to be fair, the Sheik has been an active champion. He has defended the belt on almost every PPW show since he's had it. Maybe not quite everyone, but almost all of them, including a gauntlet match, including not knowing who his challenger was at the beginning of the night and having that decided later on. I mean, he has stepped up against everybody, too. You have to give him that.
I don't think he would show.
And he had selected Taryn from accounting just a couple of months ago as well, too, for a Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship match. She took him to task as well, too. Taryn's been a big impact here at Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Well, that's just it. Her thinking he was going to have a bit of a night off, and she changed his mind in a big way.
And I think you should never underestimate the Mexican Devil. He's capable of doing anything, and he will do anything.
And we've seen some really hellacious battles between Asesino and Cannonball Kelly over the years, Papa Smokes. I mean, this is a blood feud that has gone back for a long-ass time. You know, back in the Battle Arts days of HIW, these two tearing each other apart in, hardcore matches, chairs matches, anything you could throw at these two, they will beat the hell out of each other.
The champion and Asesino working very, very well as a team here, Papa Smokes, cutting that ring off and keeping Cannonball Kelly over to their side of the ring.
Kind of shocked how well in tandem the both Sheik and Asesino did work in this matchup as well, too. I wonder if those two guys would ever start to eye up those tag belts as well, too, as that tag division is heating up quite nicely.
Well, remember, we've seen them try to coexist as a team once before in the past, and that didn't go so great. Those are two big egos to have on the same tag team, and they didn't coexist last time. But as you can see in this match, they're working quite fluidly as a team.
Again, Sheik going to any lengths in order to make sure he wins a matchup.
Distracted and then using it to their advantage, going for those little gray areas in a professional wrestling match. You got to keep in mind.
PPW Nation definitely not showing any love here for Sheik or for Asesino, as they never do. And, the worst part is putting these matchups together, editing them, and then having to silence some of what's being said by the PPW Nation, because it gets so out of hand that I worry about the YouTube censor bots coming in and telling us no go, especially when it comes to the hate being slung at these two individuals.
Yeah, I've had that same thought doing camera work sometimes, but we're pretty right in there with the crowd. Not very many feet or inches separating us sometimes. I've heard some stuff that he has probably better left off YouTube.
Especially with the prestige of a title that is.
I mean, despite the fans not being super fond of Sheik, I mean, there's a reason he's champion. I mean, obviously he's doing something right, whether or not the fans like it. I mean, he's still put up quite a hell of a fight every time he's in the ring. So,
like Papa Smokes famously says, by hook or by crook, our champion will find a way to hold on to that belt. Nice back elbow there from Cannonball Kelly.
Whoa, a jumping, spinning kick from that big man. You could see the impact that had. Wow, a big slam on the back.
And again, anybody, just because we have a match playing, if you're in the audience, feel free to ask questions, reach out, everything like that. We're just having some fun watching this back, so feel free to ask us anything about this particular match, about Prairie Pro Wrestling. If you have questions for Riley Cruz, let us know in that chat as well, too.
I think Johnny on the outside yelling at the referee that Sheik Akbar Shabaz is not the legal contestant in this matchup. It should be El Asesino and Colton Kelly right now.
That's right. Johnny was on top of that. I remember that night. Johnny was making sure the referee was aware Sheik not supposed to be the legal man in this matchup at the moment.
At some point, you know, every referee said it doesn't have to watch the rule book strictly. He's got a sense of what the match is and where it's going. He can use his discretion to a certain extent, but he's going to have his hands full with these.
Oh boy. Here comes something big
I don't
from
know
Colton.
if the ring is equipped enough for what was about to come here, but Asesino breaking it up immediately.
Whoa. What a right hand.
I mean, Papa Smokes, you've known El Asesino for quite some time now. Like, throughout his career, has he just got more vicious as the years have gone by? I've got to know, getting back, because it seems like in the time I've known him for, that's been the case. I'm curious about since you've known him.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Munson, because, like you say, I've known him for a number of years now. He's always been, let's say, dastardly when it comes towards the fans, but ever since PPW started, and in particular over the last, let's say, year and a half, there's been an entire turn in the guy's personality, both in the ring and out. I've noticed it knowing him as a person, but also watching his matches. I gotta say, I don't know what's going on with him right now, but there's some kind of like almost like an evil that's infesting him, or just a malignancy about his entire demeanor that's just so violent and lashing out destructively at the other wrestlers in PPW, lashing out verbally against everybody around him. He's drawing himself into a small circle of hate, for lack of a better term, and from this small circle of hate, he's just lashing out against all the other wrestlers in the company. I don't know what's going on with him, I must admit. I'm not sure I would say on this podcast, even if I did, but I actually don't. And it worries me because you can see the violence that he's bringing to these wrestling shows. It kind of like bends the extremes of what we can even have at a wrestling show, you know, legally and stuff. So again, I don't know what he's thinking, but he's making a power play of some kind right now, and he's not taking a backward step. Good God, we've seen some of those muggings that he's done after the match, coming out again and again with chairs. This being another example of those matches that's all leading up to a climactic face down with Cannonball Kelly. Good God, man.
Yeah, and love for Cannonball Kelly from BDJ, who's up in the house now here. The PPW faithful right there joining us. How's it going, BDJ? Happy holidays to you and your family, my man. And we got Bobby Stats coming in with a question for Riley. Wants to know if you would like to have a match ever against Vaughn Vertigo or Kobe Carino.
I mean, I feel like Kobe Carino would be awesome. I mean, big fan of his work, great work ethic, and again, it's just another learning experience for me. It's something I'd love to do. Both of those guys, for that matter. I mean, why not? I'd love to.
Might be getting a camera back into the PPW Nation audience here. So
I remember doing this, Papa Smokes, this particular night. This got chaotic. His camera guys getting in there, right?
Oh yeah,
these brutes. It was something else. And Bastard knows all too well to stay the hell out of the way when Cannonball starts throwing chairs. He's got that battle scar, that bruise to prove it.
And even that trailer for the chairs match was kind of giving me PTSD, remembering back to how chaotic that was at ringside.
Yes, there would be blood that night, and that'll be available for everybody February 2024 on the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe over there. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe here at our local establishment and the Video Bros Network as well, too. Really appreciate all the support. EDJ wants to know how many Papa Smokes t-shirts are in that crowd there tonight.
Cannonball taking him down, too.
A couple minimum.
I got mine hanging in the closet upstairs, too, so... I think back then was when Basser had like the mass amounts of shirts. He usually wore like 6 or 7 to the shows, and he would just take one off each time somebody else came down to the ring.
You can see that these two teams just want to settle this.
Those chest chops are just ouch.
There's a lot of bad blood.
Basser's just having a time of his life, with an up-close look at the action.
You can see that these.
Hey, Basser, was this the night that I gave you a chest chop in the parking lot, followed by Stephen Crow's #1 fan slapping your belly in an attempt to do a chest chop on you? Who has a better chop than Asesino? Absolutely nobody. And I have been chopped by a lot of goddamn dudes, and I can tell you, Asesino's chops hurt the most.
I second.
No word of a lie.
Even further at this point.
You second that one, Riley?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Looks like Cannonball gonna let.
I remember when I first had that experience, and there was like 20 wrestlers lined up for chest chopping us. And I'm standing there, and I get to number 19, and I'm like, okay, I think I've gone so numb, this last one can't possibly hurt. I remember Asesino looking across the ring at me and said, "You're a dead man, Munson." And I just froze. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, this is going to suck. And he took my breath away on that one. I felt my chest collapse at that very moment. It was painful.
Brutal.
Oh my God.
I'm sure you deserved it.
I always do, don't I? And
Oh,
oh my God, I remember this.
Oh,
What is going on? He just murdered them all.
you talked about his change of attitude recently. Look at that. That's almost suicidal what he's doing there.
Yeah, and there's the crowd getting electric there too. I remember just how pumped they were on that one.
Half the crowd's laying on the floor. Sorry, Riley.
No problem at all. I was just going to say, the more I watch Asesino, the more I'm starting to think that whether the fans like it or not, I feel like he'd be a very strong contender for that PPW title.
Ooh.
I think Asesino probably thinks so himself too, and secretly he might be on his way to it. Bobby's mind has been blown by that move from El Asesino. Yes, El Asesino, this far into his career, is still pulling out banger matchups and creating chaos and everything. I don't think a run with that PPW title is outside of the realm of possibility for El Asesino. Here we go. I should set up a little narrative for those who haven't seen it here. So right there, Crash Crimson, Jeff Drake from PPW Management. Earlier in the evening at this particular set of tapings, Sheik and Asesino had attacked the two of them with chairs. So that was a bit of a revenge from PPW Management on the champion and El Asesino.
They had it coming to them, Papa Smokes. If you keep making the attacks on management, eventually they're going to push back, and that's exactly what happened. They got their comeuppance here tonight.
Those big guys going up to the rope like that.
Both the Kellys now going up. Oh, look at that. The ring just shook. Holy hell. The covers, double covers. 2.
And just like that, that's all she wrote. But I don't even know that at that moment, Colton Kelly had even realized what had happened here, that he had been declared the #1 contender to the PPW heavyweight champion.
Kelly was the one that pinned Sheik, Akbar, Shabaz, the champion, of course.
But yeah, that was that's where it's said and done. I'm going to stop sharing that now so we can go back to the regular show here, guys. But yeah, what a great matchup. And of course, as we mentioned, I'll now talk a little bit about it. So the result of this, Colton Kelly now #1 contender for the PPW championship, but mysteriously gets attacked in a parking lot in Edmonton, along with Crash Crimson from PPW Management. Crash Crimson has not been the same since. He had a major surgery on, I believe, his arm, as his leg as well, too. He's not moving the same as he once did. And Colton Kelly suffered a broken leg as well, too, in this accident of sorts that Sheik, Akbar, Shabaz did not want to fess up to. But we know at the last show, it kind of came out. He finally kind of admitted to making the attack on these two, preventing Colton Kelly from getting that opportunity. And since then, Tony Novak kind of found himself in the title picture. And now Colton Kelly almost has had to earn his way back. And he still is yet to have that one-on-one matchup with the Sheik. Your guys' thoughts? Is Colton Kelly ready? Could he be the guy that has the chance to dethrone the champion in 2024?
Well, again, going back to like Sheik being the champion for so long, I feel like Colton's the last ditch effort almost, and he's a strong contender. I mean, just watching that match, he's a big dude, but when the time comes, he can fly, man. I mean, he's got a lot of potential, and I think he's got a really good shot at beating Sheik.
There you go, Bob Smokes. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think Riley's on the right track there too, and we have seen in the past Colton Kelly have a title match against the Sheik where he came very, very close to the pinfall. And I think that once you've had one match against the Sheik, that's what you need to scout out the next match in your mind. What you really need to do to formulate a new game plan, a more winning game plan. We saw that with Tony Novak as well when he had 2 matches against the Sheik in a row. The first one didn't go so great for Tony, but the second one, he had done his homework and he had researched that match, and he came very close to pinning the Sheik's shoulders. So I kind of think that Colton Kelly has a really good chance, and considering his past accolades and all that stuff, I think he's got a really good chance at beating the Sheik. That could be our new champion in 2024. We'll just have to see.
Well, it could be the case. Well, yeah, we will have to see. A lot's going to be going on in 2024 here for us at Prairie Pro Wrestling. So, yeah, we'll find out very, very soon. I'm sure the announcement's going to come soon. We're expecting February, to be exact, of when the next Prairie Pro Wrestling show is going to be taking place. So look forward to that. I guess we'll find out very soon. Let's go to Bobby here for a moment. Colton Kelly is a great contender for the title. He's also a great human being, Bobby. I love Colton Kelly, like hanging out and being around him. I wish him nothing but the best, but again, Sheik is very conniving. He's very intelligent when it comes to ways to keep his title on him. And I've known Sheik for a long time. He does not want to let that gold go because he is on a whole different level when he is carrying gold in any wrestling promotion, and that's what he's looking to do. Very unique times for us here at Prairie Pro Wrestling. Now, quickly, I'm just going to double check and see if I can get this other screen up here so that we can try this music video that done. Local group here known as Off the Top Ropes, Papa Smokes, someone that you know personally here that I believe you work with, if I'm not mistaken. Or have worked with anyway. He comes to the Prairie Pro Wrestling shows, and he is in a band called Off the Top Rope. They have recently reached out to me to do a music video for them. And so I agreed to do this, figured that I would get it done. I got it done. And then I decided I want to share it with the world. So I asked permission to share this music video with you guys here. This is yet to be seen by anybody. It's not officially released on any particular channel just yet. But you, the PPW Nation, are getting your first look at the music video for Off the Top Rope with their song Heel Turn.
I don't hear anything, Munson. Is there audio going?
Oh, sorry. You're not getting the audio there, Papa Smokes?
I can't hear it, but maybe other people can.
Yeah, I'm having trouble too.
No, okay. Let me I'm going to try one other way of doing this here, guys. Maybe it'll work better if I share it as just a video file direct from my hard drive. Here we go. Let's try it this way. Let me know if this works this time.
Oh, you take that Black Macho Man Randy Savage. Doesn't he make you so mad that you just want to go down there and hit him? Well, maybe not him because he's kind of big, but you just want to hit the guy sitting next to you? Well, not him because he's kind of big too, but you just want to hit his kid? Hey, grab Macho Man Randy Savage.
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
And there we have it. Yeah. So that I don't know when the plan is for an official release, so to speak, just yet, but it will happen sooner. I think Off the Top Row have to get their own YouTube channel first before we'll have an official release of it. But just something little I put together for them. Had a lot of fun. I know our buddy, his alias is El Asesino from the band Off the Top Row.
Yep.
We've seen him. We saw him at a Halloween show one time. Brought into the ring there. He's the eater of Doritos, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He doesn't need a Halloween to get the mask on and the whole get up there too, with no shirt on and all the rest of it. You remember El Asesino used to be a pretty regular super fan at HIW shows. It was kind of an occasional PPW fan. Great guy. I love the song and good job on the video, Munson.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and Mel Ball saying that she loves it too. Now that's 2 videos that I've directed this year that Mel's added to her list of playbacks anyway there. So yeah, it's been great. I love getting back into doing some of that. That's about my third music video for sure anyway that I've done. So yeah, bands out there, let me know the opportunity. I'd love to do more.
I feel like if they keep coming out with songs like that, they might very well soon be in my top 5 bands. I'm being honest.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're really good guys. There was also a band. I don't know if you got the message there too, but a local band that had reached out through Prairie Pro Wrestling socials that wanted to get in contact with you about doing an original tune for you to come to the ring.
Oh wow, that's dope. I haven't heard of that. No, that's awesome.
You have not heard. Okay, I'll now that I know how to get a hold of you, I'm gonna send you their contact information because they had reached out a little while back, said that they were willing to offer up their services to make a Riley Cruz official song to come to the ring to if you were interested. So
for sure, we'll do. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hell yeah.
But guys, we're kind of getting towards the end of the show anyway. It's been a blast. I do want to say we talked about him a little bit. He was also in that music video. I wanted to say and send our best wishes to Tony Novak, who is going through some medical situations at the moment. I'm not going to go too much into depth about it, but we've known Tony a long time, Papa Smokes, and he is one hell of a person. He's always there for everybody. He's the one in the back helping out, smiling, setting things up, tearing things down, working his ass off, progressing, and he finally gets to that main picture. And he's being held back currently by medical conditions. I hope for a speedy recovery, and I hope that we see Tony Novak back in a Prairie Pro Wrestling ring in 2024.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. On some top-notch dude, and get well soon, Tony. We can't wait to see you back.
Yeah, if you don't mind me just adding, I haven't known Tony for as long as you guys have, but from the time that I have known him, he's just been an amazing dude. He's been just amazing. He's helped me out a lot. He's given me bookings in matches, and he's just been there for me. He had my back, and he's been watching out for me. So he's a great guy, and I just really hope that he gets better very, very soon.
Yeah, all the best to you, Tony. Get back soon. Bobby saying, Riley, that it's been great to have you on the show, and I concur. It has been great to have you on the show. We're kind of towards the end there, so we are going to be leaving here soon. But Riley, if you got anything to plug, any things that you have booked coming up, or any socials that you do want the listeners to know about, where they can reach out to you, check out some of your stuff.
Well, if I'm being honest, I don't have many socials right now, but I guess the only thing that I'd like to plug is the PPW February show and all the PPW shows coming up ahead, where you could hopefully see me, and I hope to continue my wrestling career in 2024. So that's about it.
Awesome. It's been a delight having you here. But now we go over to the most expensive part of the show. This costs, way more than any budget on Ring Respect Radio. I'm talking about the most expensive ticker on the planet, and that's Papa Smokes' ticker right down there at the bottom. Papa Smokes, hit the people with it. Let them know where they can find you.
Hey, the man with the greatest ticker on Twitch. I can be found on social media at Elon Musk's Free Speech Wonderland, also known as X. I am at smokes_Papa. I can also be found on Twitch at Papa_Smokes_.
That's where you can find Papa Smokes. But how about for myself? I'm Bobby Munson. There are the socials that you can reach out to me on, as well as my personal Twitch channel, VideoBro_Bobby Munson, where you can see me usually cursing at the screen, playing video games every once in a while, or talking about various things. You can catch me on multiple shows here at our local establishment. Of course, you're going to be able to catch me this Sunday with Point of View, the show that you guys direct. You, the audience, let me know what topics you want to talk about as I do some gaming stuff like that. It's the Christmas Eve episode, so I'm going to be drinking. I'm going to be having some fun, bringing you some Christmas cheer on Christmas Eve. So join me this Sunday for that. And of course, I'll be back next Thursday with Papa Smokes, heading into the end of the year for another Ring Respect Radio. Papa Smokes, what do you think next week we do? Like our favorite wrestling moments of 2023, just in general, or just our favorite things 2023 to round out this year, have a good party time next Thursday night?
Yeah, that seems like a logical topic to do. It's been a pretty eventful year for news in wrestling, so there's some big stuff we can talk about. Yeah, let's do that.
You bet. That's what you're going to see next Thursday from us. And of course, you're going to be able to join us in January. We bring you the very first edition of a trip through the territories, where Papa Smokes and I are going to be telling you all about the different territories, the bookers, the famous wrestlers from those eras, and teach you as much as we can about it while learning ourselves. It's going to be a great year. We thank you for all of your love and support throughout the entire year. Thank you for coming out here tonight, as always, and thank you to our guest, Riley Cruz, for joining us here tonight. Check out Riley on Prairie Pro Wrestling and Love Pro Wrestling, available now on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next Thursday night. Take care.